It's your boy Davidoff. I know you can't see me, but I'm here to see House of Gucci at Cineworld. It stars Adam Driver, Al Pacino, Salma Hayek, Lady Gaga, Jeremy Irons, and Jared Leto. So that's an interesting cast. Apparently, the Gucci family has an issue with this. A couple issues. Apparently, to do with a couple actors. I can't remember one of them, but one of them was Al Pacino. Apparently, they didn't like the casting of Al Pacino for the character that he played. So that was a bit weird because he's one of the best actors of all time, and they were not happy with him. But anyway, controversial or not, true story or not, I'm looking forward to seeing this. So let's see what they got in store. Let's do this. This is a childhood memory. Merry Christmas. Right, so that was pretty good. It was very much a drama for the most part. It got quite interesting towards the end. It was interesting the whole time, but I mean, like, it started to escalate, especially towards the end. Things happen very fast, maybe too fast, but you know, it's a movie. It's already 2 hours, 38 minutes long. You know, it's already quite a long movie. So, but still, even then, there's a lot to cover, and it kind of feels rushed in some parts, but I think it's a well told, true story. Well, it's based on true events, but yeah, I'm sure there's some things that might have been dramatized, but for the most part, based on true events, and it's about Gucci and how it was a family company at first, and then things changed. That family tore apart through lies, deceit, amongst other things, and eventually there was a murder at the end, and it was pretty mad. That's what I mean by escalated. It ends with the murder of one of the Guccis. At the end of True Stories, you see text about like where they are now, what happened to them. It doesn't cover everyone. I wanted to know about certain characters that survived the movie that we didn't really find out much about what happened to them. I just thought it would have been interesting for sure, but there are no members of that family currently at the company, so that's pretty mad. But yeah, the way they all left, well, or forced to leave, was shown in the movie. You know, one was murder, other ones were about being bought out, amongst other things. Obviously, it's based on true events, so I can't spoil too much. But it does end with like a sentence for the people that carried out the murder. Obviously, one person did the murder, but there were people involved. And judging by the sentences, like one guy got a life sentence, but the other people, based on when it happened, 1997 is when they got sentenced. I think 95 was the murder. Based on how many years they got, which is what the movie said, and what year it is now, I think a few of them might be released soon. Maybe one in like a few years. So that's pretty mad. In this decade, I think 2 of them might be released. So based on the sentence that I saw on the movie. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's kind of mad to me. Like, Gucci family business, none of the Gucci family are at the company. I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. So that's pretty interesting. I've never purchased anything Gucci in my life, so I wouldn't know the first thing about, you know, their designs and everything. But I was interested. Like, I know they're a big brand, even though I don't consume their products. I still know how big they are. So I wanted to see this movie, not just because of the cast, and not just because it was directed by a great director in Ridley Scott, but also because it's based on a huge company. I wanted to know things about it, and I read the synopsis, and it mentioned murder. I'm just like, wait, what? there's murder behind the origins of this company. I guess it wasn't the origin of the company. The company was already set up before that, but the murder was a big part of Gucci history. So a lot happened, and there's a lot of characters, a lot of complex characters. So that's why I felt it was a bit rushed, because there was so much to cover. And even though it was a long movie, there's so much more that could have been covered. But based on the time they had, and based on the fact that it was a movie, they did really well, and the acting was great. I mean, there's a lot of great actors in this. Paolo Gucci, who is the cousin of Mauricio, who's the one who's murdered, actually. And Mauricio's cousin, Paolo, is the funniest character. Some of the things he says and the way he says them, the way he talks, it's just hilarious. I don't know if it was actually like that in real life, but it was also like, I was also interested in his character because he was just so funny, but also kind of a sad character at the same time. But yeah, for the most part, well done, a well-made movie. And if you want to know more about the history behind the Gucci family, this is the movie for you, because there's some real crazy stuff in here. And It's a slow burner. Like, it's not a fast-paced movie. It's not action-packed. It is very much a family drama, with lies, deceit, eventually murder. It doesn't really escalate until the end, but when it does, it goes crazy. But I did like it. I did like it. I was never bored. Like, I prefer fast-paced. I prefer movies with a lot of action, but I also like slow when it's done right. You know, a movie can be really slow and can still be very engaging. You can be really into it, and this was one of those movies for me. Even though it was very slow, I was never at any point bored about anything. It always kept me interested to see what happened next. So yeah, it was a well done movie, and I recommend it. So yeah, I think Ridley Scott likes Adam Driver because he's casted him in The Last Duel and this movie. Did they film these at the same time? Because they've come out pretty quickly, one after the other. But yeah, no complaints from me. It wasn't, I mean, no movie's perfect. No movie's perfect. But based on what the material that they had, it was good. I think it was based on the book, actually, called The House of Gucci. I'm pretty sure. But based on what they did with it, I liked what I saw. Everything about the Gucci family, I've learned from this movie. So that should tell you something. You know, come to think of it, I mentioned like there's some characters that didn't mention what happened to them, but now I think about it, they actually did mention quite a few things. They mentioned about all of the Gucci family, at the very least. But there's still a couple characters where I think, what are they doing now? But yeah, well done. Rating, I would say 7.9. 7.9. Yes, a very odd number, but it was good and I recommend it. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and see you.